Hello Internet, it's Monday the 22nd of November. I'm still a little hungover, and this is Pure Tunes. So welcome to Pure Tunes, the only show that does a little dance, makes a little love, and gets down tonight, all in the space of 10 minutes. Yes, it bodes well for us that speed impresses you. I think this is going to be a happy relationship. Anyway, I'm going to kick off now with our weekly review of the charts in a segment I like to call What Were You Thinking? In the album charts, Take That have done it again. Their new album Progress has hit the #1 spot on release, followed by Rihanna's Loud, Susan Boyle's The Gift, Johann Strauss, of all people, and Pink's greatest hits so far. Take That breaking more industry records by achieving the best opening week sales in 13 years. Wow. In the singles chart, no surprises here as well. JLS's Children in Need single hits the top spot. Other honourable mentions go to Take That, whose single The Flood takes the #2 spot, followed by Ellie Goulding's cover of Elton John's Your Song, up from 39, now at 3. Rihanna's Only Girl in the World, down from 1, now in 4. And Katy Perry's Firework, down from 3, now at 5. Of course, the big question is, where are the Beatles? The big story this week, of course, is that the band's entire back catalogue is now available to download from Apple's iTunes, making iTunes the only place where you can download the band's songs in the MP3 format. Sorry, did I say the only place? I meant the only legal place, obviously. Bookmakers William Hill had Hey Jude at 6-1 to take the top spot. Sadly, it just doesn't seem to have happened. Wonder why. In other chart-related news, Susan Boyle, of course, last week managed to clinch a #1 record on both sides of the Atlantic. The Scottish singer, who the Los Angeles Times described as just another 47-year-old Scottish virgin, has done what only the Monkees and the Beatles have done before, achieving a #1 record in both the UK and the US simultaneously, with her new record The Gift, and with last year's record I Dreamed a Dream. Academics are now questioning whether or not Susan Boyle's runaway success is a sign of impending apocalypse. Check here next week for more on that. Strokes frontman Julian Casablancas has just announced the band have finished recording their as of yet untitled 4th studio album, and it could be on the shelves sometime around March. A whole 5 years after the release of their last album, First Impressions of Earth. Last year, when asked about the possibility of a record, Casablancas said he'd love to have a record made up of Thin Lizzy style, kung fu style rock with cool 80s melodies. But there's probably only a 20% chance of that happening. It's funny, I said a similar thing about my last record. Yeah, I want to have dissonant Gregorian chanting with third wave ska breakdowns. But chances are it's just going to sound like an Lemonheads record. Finally, it seems that Billy Corgan just can't let sleeping dogs lie. After discovering that his band Smashing Pumpkins will be joined by fellow alt rockers Pavement at a festival in Brazil, Corgan tweeted, "It's gonna be one of those New Orleans type funerals. I say that because they represent the death of the alternative dream, and we follow with the affirmation of life part." The spat between the two bands goes back to the release of Pavement's single Range Life, which apparently disses the Pumpkins. Referring to this, Corgan wrote, "It's funny how those who point the big finger of Cellar are the biggest offenders now. Yawn. They have no love." That is harsh. Of course, it's kind of funny that Corgan should be calling Pavement sellouts, considering he's the only original member left in his band. Now it's time to look ahead to this week's new releases. Single highlights for the week include Biffy Clyro's Boom, Blast and Ruin, Gorillaz' Donkomatic featuring Daly, Grinderman's Worm Tanner. Isn't that a great name? Laura Marling's I Speak Because I Can and Because You Should. And, as much as it pains me to say it, X Factor finalists with Heroes. Nothing is sacred anymore, people. Run for the hills. It's all coming down. However, there's better news on the album front. My Chemical Romance are releasing Danger Days, the true lives of the fabulous Killjoys. That wins the game just for awesome titles. Jenny and Johnny's I'm Having Fun Now. Well, what were you having before? Was it by chance your 5th can of Fanta this morning? Probably not. Josh Groban's bringing out his new album, Illuminations. I can't even pretend to be excited about that. Regina Spektor's bringing her Live in London album. There's not much I need to say, it'll probably be awesome. And Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday is out this week. I don't know who that is. Anyway, that's all we've got for you this week. As you know, this is the pilot episode of the show, so things are going to be tweaked around for our January launch. If you've got any suggestions for things we could include or bands we could cover, make sure to leave a comment or a video response below. If you like what you saw and want to see more, make sure to subscribe right here. Remember, not subscribing makes baby Jesus cry. So until January, I'm Jimmy Richards, and this has been Pure Tunes. Roll credits. Oh yeah, it's just me.